Hi everyone, I am Nu-Trix the Synth Guy and welcome to another video about iPad synthesizers. Today I'm talking about a synth called Layr, and what's cool about it is that, well, first of all, I got to learn about Layr from you guys. On one of my videos, people wrote under it, do you know about Layr? And I was like, no, never heard about that synth. I mean, there's so many cool synths on the iPad right now. So I started looking around and I found Layr and I was like, okay, pretty interesting. I want to know more. I wrote to the company and they sent me a copy so I can review it and test it. And to be honest, it's one of the deepest synth I saw on iPad. I know there's many options, there's many different types of synthesizer, and Layr is kind of alone in what it does. So it's really interesting. First of all, Layr is called Layr because you can actually layer synthesizers. What I mean by that is that you can have many instances of synthesizers running at the same time. And when you play your keys, you hear all of them together. It can give you really massive sounds or sounds that are playing together, and one would be short, the other would be long. There's an arpeggiator of a synthesis, and it's complete. I mean, it's not a simple synth, it's not a super complex. But what's really complex about it is you can have many different layer, one on top of the other. What's cool also is that each of the layer could be on a different channel if you want. So then it could become like a multi-timbral synthesizer. Or you can all stack it on one channel and play all of them together. So let's look at it. It's pretty interesting and it sounds good. We'll look into that together. I'll play it first. I'll go through the layout and how to navigate into it, and we'll listen to some of the demos, and we'll go a little bit around the synthesis. You'll see, pretty cool, really surprisingly powerful. Let's go. So when you actually play it, that screen is the first one you see. It seems very empty. You've got some type of, let's say, mixer. Got polyphonic, or you actually can, if you click on poly, go mono, or mono legato, or polyphonic. Let's keep it in polyphonic for now. Get the channel, click on it, then you say, I want channel 1, okay, and it's only on channel 1, or I want all of them. You go 0, and you go enter, and it's all of them. You get main. When you press on main, actually says, well, you want to set to what output. So you can have many different outputs, and you could do some routing for that. So for now, I'm going to keep it for all. It sends to this. You have the keyboard information, which is the one here. Actually, I'm going to keep it like that. And you can say the layer that I'm on right now, it's instrument number 1, where on the keys it will be. So you could actually split. You could have a sound on the left, another sound on the right, another sound in the middle. And when you move around on the keys, you can really have an evolution of different sounds depending on what you want. So you can have a bass line that's totally different than your lead. In the middle you have pads, or you can really create something complex with that. And the window we want to see, if you want to see the synthesis, there's this window on the top here. You press on it and you see more information about Layr 1. And we're in instrument 1, Layr 1. And then you can have the send 1 and send 2, the panning, the volume can mute it if you want. We want to press the arrow on top. And when you do that, you get the synthesizer. Now, yeah, well, it's a simple one. Yeah, of course, a simple one when you start from scratch. Let's try to have a more complex one. You can have, you can say, so that's just a simple, the sawtooth. Actually, sawtooth and a, well, I would say it's a complex sawtooth. And then you have the filter, everything you expect. Low pass, high pass, band pass, notch, resonance, key scale, one filter 2. You've got your 2 oscillators combined together. Then you got modulation matrix where you want to sing. So it's really powerful. You get 3 different envelope. You get different speed for the LFOs. You can, if you press on this, you have access to link to tempo instead of just being running around the way you want. You got LFO 1, LFO 2, you have a randomize LFO, random rate, and you have 3 envelopes. Now these are the source, depending on where you want to send them. There's a little kind of a grid at the top of the window here. You can press on the grid and then you have all the matrix. So you can say, I want the random to actually control the filter contour. So it's going to send to this one. Or no, I want envelope 2 to control the filter contour. So filter contour is basically how much control you want to send to the filter 1 here. That's it. So this is pretty interesting. You've got the matrix here, you close it, and then everything here is you just go around and play it. If you click on, let's say, the filter itself, you get these different options of filters here. You see the window change, or the value in the screen here changes to a different one. So you see the graphic, and if you click here, as we saw earlier, you can actually select, you can actually, if you have more than one layer, you can link them together. So you keep your finger on the value you want, let's say the filter, keep your finger on filter, and then I'll say I'm going to link it. So if I would have another layer here, you could also click on the second one and they would be linked. So this value would be the same for, and you see the little graphic at the bottom here. It's kind of a two circle linked together. So you're linking the two a filter together. In this case, I don't have another one, but that would be the case. So if you change the filter, the two of them will change at the same time. So this is useful if you want to do something left and right, and you want the left and right to have the same value, or you can have different values. So it's your choice. So if you want to get rid of it, you keep your finger on it. You have this window again. Oh, sorry, I didn't press on the right one. Here, and then you take it off, and it's gone. Okay. So that's pretty efficient. Again, if you press on it, and there's also learn. So you can assign a controller that you want here. So you press learn, turn the value of your knob, and it will be assigned to this knob. Do I have anything assigned by default? I don't think so. No, I don't. So I would have to assign them. Okay, so that is the window of the synthesis. And it's pretty powerful. I mean, you've got cross modulation, you've got portamento here. If you press on it, if you change something, let's say you change the tuning, you say, oh, I want to go back to 0, and you find it difficult to go back to 0, double press on it. If you double press on it, it goes back to 0. So it's a quick way to just go back to the null point if you want. If you have notes playing and you want to kill them, at the top here, you've got this little triangular. When you press on it, it's just going to stop the notes. You get the muting at beside it, and you've got the channel. You want to, in this case I need to assign it to the channel first, but it's not the case for now. And beside the grid you have an arpeggiator or a step sequencer, depending on how I want to look at it. So I have one step here on the first step, and then I've got the loop value. Say I'm going to change that to a note. I'm going to go here and say the note is going to be longer, then this one's going to be just one note, and this one's going to be one note, but I want it to be shorter, and this one I want another note to be shorter, and then I'm going to loop here, loop. Okay, so if I press play, nothing's happening because it's only going to happen if I place the key. So it's going through the keys I have. I'm playing on the keys. Okay. You want it to be up, or you want it to be down, or you can select different time, random, or up and down, whatever. So classic stuff you expect. You want to be hold, and it's keeping it, it's holding it. So, and you can stop it if you don't want it, and you can actually delete it if you don't. So in this case right now, this one is for, so you can have many layers, and you could have different keys playing on different layers. So you can have almost a sequencer playing a riff if you want, and have more than one. Let's see the banks that they have, so it will be even more obvious. Just before that, there's still this thing here, Clipboard. You can actually copy your layer and then copy it to another layer, and then just start from that instead of from scratch. You want another layer, you press plus, say create or duplicate layer, okay, layer, and that's your second one. Now I'm in the second one. You will go from first one to second one, first to second. That's it. And then you modify this one, and then modify this, and we'll see. And when we move, click, goes back to the first one, and this is the second one. Okay, I'm going to close that now. let's go into the banks of sounds just to see what they have. These two things, this arrow going down, arrow going up. Up is you want to upload in memory, you want to save it. The up arrow is to save, and the down arrow is to load. So you go pad components, for example, and you just press on it and you can play. You need your headphone for this because there's a lot of panning and there's very moody sounds. These are nice sounding. There's a ton of them. So you get the pad components. You can see this, like this case, these are more simple in a way, because each of them that we see are components that you can build into a larger set. So that could be just one layer. Okay, some of them are really weird. Some of them are really nice. Sounds good. Very low. Okay. That's a nice one. Some bass components. Okay, let's go and see. There's also stuff for, I mean, there's a lot of them. You know, we got drums. You've got stuff that are really more. Now keep in mind we're working on one layer at a time only. We're an instrument. So let's say I load this one. I go, okay. Okay, close. So this one is, if I open this, it's actually 3 layers. That's one sound. Okay, that's one instrument. So these are the memory for each, what they call instrument, and they're made of different layers. If you look at them, you've got this one here, that's the first one, second one, and third one. So 3 different layers having different sounds combined into this sound. If you go here, you still have this arrow going down and up. Up, you can actually save it, go cancel, and I want to load for now. So I'm going to press the arrow going down. Now I'm going to load performance, where they combine all of these together. So these are a lot richer. Some really just nice soft pads. An evolution that you hear in them is really nice. Let's say we want to look at this one, okay? We'll look at this one, you've got 2 different instruments. If you look at them, this one uses 4 layers and this one uses 2 of them. So this is basically okay? That's how it works. So let's try other things. You got drones. You get arpeggiators. You go, okay, this is more than arpeggiator. It's almost a song. Okay, if I close this and I see how they did it, we have 3 instruments. That one has 2 here. This one has 1. This one has 2. If I want to see this one, that's this one. I'll show you. We have this one. Okay, go at the top here, and you can go here, and then you see now. You see that the first one, these actually are playing channel 1, channel 2, channel 3. So the 3 of them are playing at the same time, not the same notes necessarily. And go back here. So they can really become complex in a way. Let's try another one just for fun. Get a kick in the snare. Listen to this sound, this is cool. There's a lot of stuff happening here. Let's look at how they did there you go, this is what you have. It's going through the notes. You get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And actually 4 notes. It goes through the 4 notes. And when played, so the way they were played. So this is really powerful. When you think about this, you've got this little rhythm playing, and because they're not the same instrument, you got these playing at the same time, and these 3 others are just going through the 4 notes. This is really fun. The way it's made, I mean, this is almost, I mean, I can bounce this and then keep it somewhere else if I want to. If you look at them again, some are really simple. Most of them are simple in this case. Okay. Let's try another one, just for fun, because this is fun. You get drums and all in this one. Your kick. Now this is the solo when you put it red. Okay, I get it now. Pretty fun. And let's look at others. You've got keys. Listen to the sound. Again, this is a bunch of arpeggiator, really interesting here. And they're on different channels. So the output, oh, this is interesting. The output of this one, okay, look at this. This is really fun. These are controller values. This is not a channel. So these are different controllers. So you have now a sequence of controls. That's why on the side here, you don't have notes. Cancel. If you go to this one here, you've got the controller value, 18, press here. Actually, you double press on it. Okay, the color changes with how this controller changes. So controller number 7, when it's really higher or closer to red, the value is higher. When it's closer to blue, the value is lower. So it gives you a visual feedback. So you see here, control number 3 is changed as we go along, and this is loud or high value, low value, mid value, high value, low value, and so on. So you see the evolution of that controller, and it's for channel 3, so it's for the sound on 3 here, that one over here. Same thing for the notes. If they're bluish, means that the velocity is 64, and if they're more reddish, orange, higher in color, is 127. So that's where you see this difference in color. It's about where you go velocity-wise or value-wise, if it's high or low. Pretty interesting. Nice way to do this. What else do we have here? Let's try another one. Factory user. Actually, these are... And then you get to these. These are really nice sounding. You can really have fun with this. There's stuff for anybody here. This stuff more of what they call cinematics. This is so fun. Again, you go back here and you got this, all this evolution here. You see, and they play now with the loops at different space, you know, different length. This, for me, this is just fun. I really dig that type of approach and get rid of the hole here. What else do we have? We actually have this thing, which is the screen where you have all the information about the MIDI information you want it to be able to link. If you want to sync it, you can ignore MIDI clock or have it slave to MIDI clock if possible. There's Midi Controller, different ways you want it to react, master volume with performance, blah blah blah. The bank select, so it's made to be controlled by a real controller. So I imagine this hooked up with a big keyboard somebody wants to play with two hands and use, because some of these sounds will use section on the keys. That would be really useful to have this. So you change everything you need one here. There's maximum voice. You can actually this is one thing that is super amazing here. You can actually go up to 256 voices of polyphony. So this is a beast. I'm not sure, depending on the iPad you have, how it will survive this. It depends on the machine you have, but 256, I would guess that when you have that many voices, you don't do much anything else on your iPad, because it probably takes a lot of CPU at that point. So it's just a question of using it the right way. So this is really cool. Now, if I want to use this in a song, I mean, this is a synth, powerful enough to be a pattern that you create. But if I want to use it in a synth, in a DAW, let's say we go into Beatmaker 3, because it supports, let's say, new session, and I'm going to go for the first track, whatever that is, this one. So I want to go into plugin, and I want to see, is it here? Layr is here. That's it. Load. So it goes right into my window here. I am in, oops. So I want to load this. I'm going to load, I don't know, the fold. I like this one. This one. Okay, I like this one. Close. I'm in Beatmaker 3 right now. So I can just record that. Recording. And then stop that. And it's done. Actually, you can unplug this if I don't want it anymore. Unplug, and then I have my recording here. So that's one of the cool thing of Beatmaker 3, but I'll come back to Beatmaker 3 later on because I'm still learning how to do everything with it, and it's a lot more powerful than I expected. So that said, guys, Layr, it's a pretty awesome synth, powerful enough to do your sequence in it, and the layer capacity in this is super interesting because you can create instrument with many layers and then stack the instruments as different one. So you could have, as we saw, up to 256 voices. So it's just a massive synth if you think about it. And the effects in it, it sound lush, it sound nice. The example they have is a lot of evolution pads, of course, because when you have that many layers, if you use them together, it's the interest of having them evolve and change and have all this movement in it. So this is pretty interesting. And at the same time, if you look at it with the sequencer that they have, it's a real powerful step sequencer because it's multiple tracks, if you want, playing at the same time with the also the controller that you have in real time. It's simple to use, but it took me a while just to get to go, okay, this is how I move around and things. But when you get to move around in it, pretty interesting. It's a cool synth. I like the sound. Test it out, see what you think. And if you have any comments, put them in comments. And if you have any question, go ahead. I'm going to talk about synths a couple of times in the next weeks because there's a lot of cool ones on the market right now and some I never tested before. So stay tuned for other synth for iPad coming soon. Cheers, guys.